Okay, so here's what I want to do first. I took out all the Omen speakers because they don't perform that well, honestly. And I put in Baleful Eidolons in their place, two Voyages End, took out a Voyages End, added the two whips. Um, I'm having a hard time because I started a video, edited the deck list, and then Moto crashed and saved an incomplete deck. So I'm kind of working from memory here. So I added a land, is what I did. I'm taking out Erebos from the board because it was pretty awful. I'm not really sure why it's in there. I thought it would be good, but it's just not. I put Read the Bones, and what do I want in the main, in the sideboard? The sideboard's always the hardest part with this deck, honestly. So, what do I have in my collection here? I have some Triton Tactics, not going to be that good. Thoughtseize. We have Sip of Hemlock. Sea God's Revenge. Return to Phalanx might not be the worst. I think it's better than Omen Speaker, honestly. I can at least attack with it. So if I put them on my board, I can board them against aggro decks and control decks. And it's pretty good against both. I don't want 3 Disciples. I think 2 is enough. But again, I don't really know what I want in my board. Prescient Chimera is not going to be that good. Omen Speaker is not a card I want. Discard Hydra, Charlatan. No, that doesn't work with opponent spells. I thought about Lash of the Whip, but there's not a lot of things. Maybe Lash of the Whip is good enough. It kills. That doesn't kill Ember Swallower. It kills Stormbreath Dragon. That's pretty much it. Maybe that's good enough. Stormbreath Dragon is actually like a pretty hard problem for this deck, so I can try Lash of the Whip. Oops, if I can actually drag and drop it. Doesn't look like it. So I can try Lash of the Whip. Gonna keep looking. Insatiable Harpy is not a card I want to play. I can try Grey Merchants. Like if the life gain is a problem, which it looked to be, I can board in like against the. Let's see. Against aggro decks, I don't think I just board out Dissolves. I'd board out some Read the Bones, maybe Voyage's End. I don't want to board out Voyage's End. I'm boarding Grey Merchants. Yeah, that wouldn't be actually the worst. I could board out. I could take out these phalanxes and just have Grey Merchants in the yard or in the board. It's also doubles as like pretty good against mono black because I don't just die to them. Disciple I'm not sold on. Let's just take those out completely. It's just way too small for its cost. Where was it? Grey Merchant. G-G-G-G-R-A-Y. Grey Merchant. So I can put 4 on the board. I think that's excessive, but that's a good place to start right now. Disciple is not a card I want. Dark Betrayal, Chimera. If there was if Hopeful Eidolon was black, I would play that in a heartbeat. Maybe Apparent Overlord is what I want. It does block Stormbreath Dragon, mind you. And it's a pretty good finisher. And I have Devotion now since I have Whips in my deck. And maybe I can just play the main deck if I take out like. I don't think it's actually going to be that good main deck. It's only really good with Whip. I want to board it in against the red-green decks. It's good against the red-green decks, and I want to play main deck because it's good against them, and they're very popular. So maybe take out like an Ashiok and go to 3 Ashioks, and then put 1 on the board in case I play against control or slow decks. In which case I just board out what? Keepsake Gorgons, Eidolons, and board in Merchants and Ashiok. Yeah, okay, let's try that. Let's try this. This is the changes I'm gonna make. I lost the daily already, so that's a wash. So we're just gonna play in a couple 2-mans to try and get a feel of the new deck. So let's go ahead and hop in one of these, and I will unpause it after the thing, right? So, okay. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're unpaused with the new and improved blue-black deck. This hand is a keeper-ish. Like, it's not amazing, but it's got Skylands, so I pretty much keep every hand with a reasonable number of Skylands. I like Thoughtseizing turn 1 on decks with Voyaging Satyr in them, because they usually just keep 3-landers, and if they get really greedy and keep a hand with like all Scrylands and Voyaging Satyr, you can just take the Voyaging Satyr and leave them with Magma Jet, nothing. He put his card on top, so I assume it's like a 4-drop. This slows him down pretty significantly. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 2 temples, forest, a mountain, and a Magma Jet. So there's temple number 1. And I'm just going to go ahead and play my Temple of Deceit and look for something as well. Keepsake Gorgon is A-okay. I guess he's Naya because he's playing a white Scryland. Like, he's definitely not black because there's nothing really that interacts with those colors. I could have played an untapped land and read the Bones, but I want to play my tapped lands so I can play my Gorgon somewhat on time. And since he's not doing anything this turn, I'm not too threatened. Like, it's possible I read the Bones anyway, just so I can try and find a removal spell to stop his Polokronos he's playing this turn. And since my deck has less 2-drops now, I have less chance to just block something. Pulse Crusher is not as big a deal as Polokronos would be. So I will just read my Bones, bottom both of these because I don't want any more lands. I could Thoughtseize him, and probably should Thoughtseize him, in case he drew a dragon. I know he has Mountain Forest in his hand, or I know he has Forest in his hand, so he has 2 cards I don't know about. One of which is an Elspeth, and I'm extremely glad I decided Thoughtseize. So next turn I play Gorgon for sure. Hopefully he didn't draw Dragon. That would be abysmal for me. Another Crusher. It's strange he played a Crusher with 5 mana, but I guess he wanted to F6 or F8. So this Gorgon can block one of his creatures, and then he'll get Magma Jet to death. Or he could swing with both, put me to 4, Magma Jet me for 2, and go for the win with like another burn spell. Or you could cast a dragon here and kill me that way too. I think it's more likely he will Magma Jet my Gorgon, even though I think it's better to Magma Jet me. So block here. Like this is the kind of game where Whip would be very good. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So next turn he can Monstrosity his Crusher, which is pretty good for him because it puts it at what, a 7/7, and blocking with a 2/5 makes me take 2 damage. Okay, that's not that bad. So I'd go to 2, which is dead to Magma Jet, which I had expected anyway. So I'm gonna play my Temple of Mystery and try to look for Hero's Downfall maybe, or Whip. Whip is very good. Put that on top. Next turn I can just play Ashiok and Baleful Eidolon. Another Pulse Crusher. It's an interesting choice. I think it's much better just Monstrosity, because if I have a land that comes into play untapped here, I can just Monstrosity whatever he tries to Monstrosity. I'm kind of dead though. Like I can play my Whip and my Baleful Eidolon. Hero's Downfall is good, but I block here and block here. He Monstrosities the one with Baleful Eidolon on it, which is 6 damage. I gain 3. I can still do that actually. Oh no, I can't block with Baleful Eidolon because it's pro enchantments. So I take 7 and can only gain 2 life. So I go to 6 and I would die. So I need to read the Bones into that card that I just drew, that I just found on top of my deck. That way I can block the Pulse Crusher, and when he Monstrosities, he's going to Monstrosity the Gorgon. I don't really have any good outs to this. I have to hope he messes up. I have to hope he Monstrosities the thing that the Gorgon isn't blocking. Which seems pretty hard to do, honestly. Because he doesn't even have to activate Monstrosity right now. But if he Monstrosities this, I can't win anyway. Like, there's no way I can win. So I assume this is the one he's Monstrositying. Yeah, okay. So even if I kill this, I take 2 off his Pulse Crusher. So I'm just dead. See, if that had been Pelakrinos, we would have been fine there, because Death Touch creatures and Pelakros are pretty much best friends. They get along famously. Against his 3-color mid-rangey aggro deck, I want 1 less Read the Bones, probably 1 less Voyage's End. I think I definitely want... I don't know, pretty much main decked against him. I'm thinking I want Ashiok instead of a Read the Bones, because Ashiok can get me Pelakronoses and such at a reasonable cost. And Freakus Cure is awful against Sylvan Caryatid. Grey Merchant doesn't seem that good. Like, I don't think I can just burn him out. And I think Keepsake Gorgon's much better in this matchup. So I'm gonna try that. I want to try Curse the Swine. I shouldn't have submitted. Let's try Curse instead of Voyage's End. Oops. Okay, so I have Curse the Swines in my deck instead of Voyage's End. Pulse Crusher is kind of awkward against Baleful Eidolon, but Baleful Eidolon's good enough against Empress Wallower and Pelakrinos that I keep it in anyway. Okay, I'm obviously on the play since I lost that last game. This hand's iffy, but I'm going to keep it just because it's like a fairly decent curve and all the cards I want to see. So I'm going to go ahead and Thoughtseize him. I should have Thoughtseize him turn 2, honestly, but I really want to take this Xenagos out of his hand. So I take the Xenagos and leave him with a Dragon, an Elspeth, and a Satyr. Usually I would use Snipping Tool to keep track of his hand, but it's kind of annoying to record and use Snipping Tool and keep commentary, so I just want to keep the cards he has right here. So we put the Scry card on the bottom, and there's the Temple of Mystery that I knew about. I'm considering, I probably don't want to murder this Satyr. That seems pretty greedy. He has a dragon in his hand and an Elspeth and a Magma Jet that I know about. He should definitely play the Satyr there. I'm going to Read the Bones instead of casting Amulet here, because I want to draw cards. These are both very good. Because it fits my curve a lot better. Like, if I cast Amulet, I can't do anything else. Like, as far as Magma Jet's still in his deck. So I still know he has a dragon and an Elspeth. I need to save the Dissolve for the Elspeth. The dragon I can kill with next turn with a Hero's Downfall. So if I play the Temple, it's awkward because I want to downfall his dragon this turn. So I have to leave him this mana, 3 mana right here. If I want to dissolve his Elspeth the following turn, if he has a white land, I would need to play the Swamp so I could crack Swamp for an island. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I cast the Traveler's Amulet and pass turn. Looks like he just has a Xenagos, which, unfortunately, I also have to Hero's Downfall. But I get less mileage out of it because he gets a dragon. Or not a dragon, a Satyr. So I'm going to go ahead and grab an island with this main phase so I can scry with my temple. But I'm going to play the come to play tapped land. This I might want to keep on top. Baleful Eidolon? Actually, probably just want lands so I can Monstrosity the Siphonia. He drew a land, but he can't cast his dragon. Put a card on top, so I assume that means he's gonna Be casting it next turn. I'm leaving all my mana open so I can counter Elspeth. Lightning Strike me end of turn. He can hit me for 3 with his creatures. Yeah, that's probably what he's gonna do. He still has does he have a dragon in his hand? I think he did, right? He had Dragon Elspeth, if I recall correctly. Yes, he had a dragon and an Elspeth. So I dissolve this. See an island on top. So next turn he casts dragon, so I need to cast 3 mana open for that. Then I would play Ashiok. So if I can draw a Voyages or a Curse the Swine. Curse the Swine doesn't really do that much here. His only card is Dragon. And I drew a Dragon of my own. So we'll keep that idol on top this time. If he has a Lightning Strike or a Magma Jet, 3 of which I know where are, he cannot kill me this turn. However, looks like he's just jamming his dragon into play, which I'll kill and then take 3 and lose. Or I assume he doesn't attack Ashiok at all. Yeah. So I'm gonna cast the dragon and leave it back on D. Miscasted that Hero's Downfall. Put myself at 3 or 1, which not that good. Actually, if I cast this dragon, I lose Ashiok, so I might just want to plus, since I can cast 2 creatures this turn already. With Hythonia and Baleful Eidolon. It's possible I should have just cast the first Baleful Eidolon with that I saw. Unless I draw Whip next turn, or like right before he draws a burn spell, I'm pretty dead. He could also like grab a dragon. I don't like playing that Satyr here or there because my Hythonia can go lethal or go nuclear, however you want to say it. So I can kill everything with Hythonia, but that leaves me dead to a dragon. So I guess I just cast my dragon and attack with it. Yep. Too bad it doesn't say none. Nightmare creatures. You can just attack with everyone and force me to use it. Yeah, looks like that's what he's doing. Ooh, I drew Dissolve, that's very good. So attack with my 7/9. And I could have blown the Thorold last turn and attacked with the dragon and Hythonia, but I didn't want to do that in case he had his own dragon. Like, even though he could force me to use the blow up ability on the... Did I use Ashiok this turn? I have not used Ashiok this turn. Even though he forced me to use the Hythonia, he couldn't do it and cast Stormbreath Dragon, which was the entire point. So he's dead next turn unless he has some sort of removal spell in his hand. So he's 2 Chain to the Rocks in his deck against blue-black control. Which actually be like pretty fine against my Hythonias, in all honesty. So I really wish Grey Magician cost 4, but it'd be pretty absurd if it cost 4, so I can see why it doesn't. Read Bones is very good that game, but I don't want more of them on my deck. Curse the Swine would have been pretty mediocre, I think. I'm just not sure about this card very much. I could see it being good, like the blue-green deck had it in its list, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think Voyage's End might just be better in this matchup because he has Xenagos and Stormbreath Dragons. This hand is not amazing, but I think it's fine. Scrylands do a lot of work in this deck, and Keepsake Organ is fine. A fine man, if I do say so. Like, my last hand was pretty much the perfect hand. It had pretty much everything you wanted in that deck. I hope he doesn't have a Caryatid, because that would suck. Drawing lands, not that unheard of, but it's actually pretty bad too. I've drawn essentially 4 lands with the Scry triggers. But that's kind of what I get for keeping a 2 Scry land all land hand. At the same time, I didn't think I would... I thought I would draw something. Like, I have a lot of card selection in my deck. Like, even a Baleful Idol would be pretty good. Luckily, he missed on his untapped land, so he can't cast a 4-drop this turn. I'm gonna go ahead and sack my Amulet to shuffle those 2 lands to the top. Not specifically because of that reason, just because, like, I want to use my mana right now. I don't want to hold on to this Amulet forever. Still has Magma Jet. I guess I still have Baleful Idol, so I guess it's fair. If he plays a Stormbreath Dragon, I have to bounce it with my end. And then hopefully scry into a murder or something. I'm not going to run out of lands to play for the rest of the game, probably. He put the cards on top, both of them on top, which is very threatening, actually. So we have a Bolus Crusher? So now this would be the worst possible thing for me. Okay. Looks like this is just a dragon. Just a dragon. Casual, only a dragon. So if this is a Dissolve or a Hero's End, or Hero's Demise. It's good for us. If it's anything else, it'd be not that good for us. Play Swamp, pass turn, downfall his dragon. I assume that was the second card. The first card being the dragon, off the Magma Jet. Actually, they could have both been lands since he played a tap land. Turn 1. Gosh. This Xenagos is so annoying. It's a very good card. I'm just going to go and kill this now. I can't let him just pump out Satyrs forever. Like, that's... My deck has no way of dealing with a bunch of 2/2s. Or a bunch of small creatures in general. So I poo. I think I play the Gorgon, then kill the dragon 2 turns from now. Like, I take a ton of damage doing it, but... let's see. So, like, I think he has an Elspeth and a dragon, right? So, if I leave up and Dissipate, he's just going to cast the dragon anyway, which I'll counter, and then Elspeth will go through. But if I cast the Keepsake Gorgon, he might just jam the dragon to try and race me, and then I can counter the Elspeth anyway. Because I can't activate the Gorgon until 2 turns from now. So maybe I can... Like, I don't want to just die to these 2 creatures. Yeah, he's casting Elspeth now. Which kind of sucks. But I might be able to deal with it if I draw like a whip or something. Because if I leave up Anticipate, he like 100% casts the dragon, and I have to dissolve it, obviously. But it's just kind of awkward. I don't have the resources to deal with all his nonsense. Just some of it. Like if this Satyr wasn't in play, it wouldn't have been an option. I would have just left him dissolve for sure. But I can't just take free damage off this creature. I'm gonna Voyages in my guy back. That's a little better than Voyages ending a token, I think. And I get to kill his Elspeth with the Scry off the thing. Like I wanted to dig for a Hero's End, so I wanted to scry this turn regardless. It's gonna be really hard to kill that Elspeth. So I'm taking what, 4 this turn? Oh my gosh, and another Xenagos? So I have to deal with Dragon and Elspeth somehow. Yeah, I have to keep that on top still. So 1, 2, 3. I can't even cast Gorgon and Hero's Downfall this turn. So next turn taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't even. I'm just dead. Like I can't win. Because if I kill the Elspeth, he kills me. If I kill the dragon, he kills me. So there's no win here. If I cast my Gorgon, he kills me. So, yep, unfortunate. Do I want to make any changes to this deck? Because I think, oops, that's not the deck. I was looking at the black-green deck from the premiere event. Let's see, continue without saving, yes. That deck. I think I want to play more games before making more changes. I haven't played with the Grey Merchants yet, and this is the event that I dropped from. So, I'll just join another 2-man, and I'll see y'all when that starts.